Hi, welcome to Grade School for Parents, Grade School for Adults. This is Dr. Leroy Always. I'm going to talk today about Savvas. Now, Savvas, I'm going to talk about the Savvas app. Savvas is the publisher of the textbooks we use in Florida. It's also publisher of the textbooks you use in Texas and other places. It's also in Savvas is also known as Pearson in Texas as well. So if you have Pearson books or if you have the Envision books, you are using Savvas or Pearson, and there's more than likely an app that you have available at you or your kids have available through your kids' school. So my first episode on apps, I talked about the Clever app or the Clever portal. And if you go to the Clever portal, I show you where on the Clever portal where you can log into Savvas, the Savvas app, click on it and log it in. So I am going to bring that up. I'm just going to skip right ahead to that. Okay, so I brought up Savvas EasyBridge, and Savvas EasyBridge is the bridge to Savvas Realize, the Reader, and Success Maker. And what we see here is we see the classes that my kids are using Savvas for, and the textbooks, for example, math, science, social studies, English language arts, and reading. Now, I'm going to go down the list here, and we're going to click on Success Maker Realize, and we click on that. I just happen to have the window open here. We bring that up. What we see here is 6 different subjects. And it says you don't have any upcoming assignments in this class right now. And if there was one, it would be there. But tomorrow's the last day of 3rd grade for my kids. And just to quickly mention one more time, I'm a stay-at-home dad. I have in Florida, I have 3rd grade, actually as of tomorrow, 4th grade, but this current school year, 3rd grade twin girls. My girls are in 2 different teachers, 2 different teacher pairs. So they have 2 English teachers and they have 2 math teachers, and all the teachers do things a little bit different. So I'm going to, Realize here, I want to take a look at reading here, and what we notice, there's no homework here. But I'm going to get to that in a moment. But before I go into reading, I want to pull up her 3rd quarter grades for this particular class. And so in 3rd quarter in reading, this particular teacher doesn't really do that many paper assignments. Okay, now we have an opinion rough draft, we have a bell ringer. Both of these are an opinion final draft. All 3 of these were actually assignments that they had to do some writing on, and so I got to see what the results of those were, and the results of those were 100%, and it looks like a 90 or 100%. So looking at that, I'm thinking, okay, great, my kids are doing great, and they are doing great. But I want this very last one to see here. I want to know what she did wrong, and how can I help her, and how they're grading. But the problem is this was done with Realize, Savvas Realize, and so it's on a computer. The teacher doesn't print out anything, doesn't send anything home. Actually, teachers didn't even tell me I could even find the grades online, and which was a little disappointing. Now, the other 3rd grade teacher for my other daughter, she also uses Realize, but she also does a lot of handwriting, a lot of paper assignments, and so on. And so I get a lot of feedback from that particular teacher in the terms of things that are being brought home, where I can see mistakes, and I can see, okay, they need to work on capitalization, they need work on indentation, they need work on punctuation, they need work on spelling, they need work on phonics. And I see that all the time with the other one. But this particular daughter, I don't see that much information on, and it gets really frustrating on what do I know about them. So now if I go back over to Realize, Okay, so I'm going to realize, now I don't see anything here, but if I click on View All, what this has in it, it has a couple assignments that weren't started. Now, these two assignments that weren't started, maybe the teacher decided to change her mind and didn't do them. Maybe my daughter was absent that particular day, and if they're absent, they don't have to do the makeup work. Or maybe the teacher actually just did it in class and they brought it up on class. So I really have no problems with seeing assignments that are not started, because there's probably a reason behind it. But now over here I do see completed. So I bring that up, and again I want to look at week 3 or unit 3 week 1. I bring it over here, and unit 3 week 1, yes, she got a 74% on it. Doesn't tell me much, but I can click on it. And again, I got 74% on it. It's been completed. Still doesn't tell me much, but I can click on it. And when I click on it, the nice thing about this is it does show me something. And that is, it tells me what she did wrong, what she did right. And we'll take a look at question 1, what she got right. And it says, choose the word or word group that has the same meaning as the underlined word. Enormous. And my daughter picked huge. Great answer. She got it right. Notice I can't change any of the answers because it's already been turned in and graded and so on. So if I click on the next one, which I know she got incorrect, again, choose the word group that has the same meaning as the underlined word. And he interfered in other people's business. My daughter picked stayed away from. So she doesn't know what the word interfered means. And if we go down the list, got involved, left people alone, was harmed by, probably got involved in. But again, I can't change that, and so on. But now I have an indication of what she needs help on definitions of words and so on. And more or less, basically, she needs to read more, and we need to talk about what she's reading and what she's comprehending. Now, if I go back, if I look at question 15, this last one down here, she got 15 out of 20 on, 75%. And so in this particular case, she has to write something. But again, they don't write things with pencil and paper. They type. And this is third graders. They're typing. And they're typing either by hunting and pecking with their fingers, or they're typing by cutting and pasting. And I am quite impressed watching my kids cut and paste, and they know how to do it. The other interesting thing is when my daughter does cut and paste, she does, if she's doing it to avoid plagiarizing in third grade, they're learning as they're putting things in double quotes. So in this particular case, I don't see any double quotes. Let's count the sentences, what she has, her periods. She got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she possibly has 5 complete sentences. I'm not going to go into the details. But what I have a feeling is why she got 75% is probably she didn't put down 4 meaningful statements about the above text, and that's typically what I see on here. So that's what we see in Savvas. Realize we have the ability to go in, take a look at their learning progressions, take a look at their assessments, find out what they did wrong, and so on. And again, teachers are not sending stuff home if they're doing it on a computer, because they're not wasting paper and they're not printing it out. They don't have the time to do that, and I don't blame them. Okay, now if we go back over here to EasyBridge, we click on Savvas Reader. And Savvas Reader is exactly what it is, or claims to be, and that is it's the textbooks. And actually it's more than the textbooks. It's the textbooks and a lot of other books. This, for example, is my daughter's math book. And the interesting thing is we see my daughter's math book 5 different times right here on this one page. 2 of them are in Spanish. I don't read Spanish, so I'm going to skip those. And what we have here is, we bring this over here, it says this is the interactive student edition grade 3. And if we look on here, this is additional practice workbook for grade 3. And if we look over here, this is the student edition of the book. And student edition of the book is this. It is this book, and it has, this table of contents. All these pages are in here. Everything is in here. It's the entire book. If I click on the additional practice problems, what we have here is it takes me right to a topic I can click on that particular topic and it shows me what lesson 1, and it gives me the additional practice pages for that particular book. My kids' teachers were constantly sending home additional practice pages, and sometimes they would say they have additional practice pages, but they wouldn't bring it home, so I would have to go in here and dig it out. We also have this one here. Click on that, and this is the student, this is the interactive book. It's a little bit different than the regular textbook. If I go up here and look at the table of contents, what we see on here is a little more things like pick a project. And pick a project, it's more interactive, there's more videos and so on. But at the same time, in this interactive book, this is the fastest way to getting the reteaching, assessment practice, and performance tasks. Assessment practice is actually when you see this red bar over it. The red bar typically it means the end of the topic, and it covers everything that you need to know at the end of that's going to be coming up on their assessment test. And so a lot of times the teachers would actually print this out or rip the pages out of the book and send home the red pages and say, you need to do these. Or if I realized that there was an assessment coming up and I didn't have it, I would go and find the assessment practice pages. The sad thing with Savvas is the pages, a lot of times they don't print out very nicely, so you have to do a lot of scaling and do some other things. And that is dependent on your computer. I found I had more luck on an iPad printing them out than a computer printing them out at times. Okay, so let's go back to the EasyBridge, and we have Success Maker. Success Maker is it's the first thing the kids coming in to school. They come on, they pull a computer out, they pull that Success Maker, and it's really it's a adaptive program that initially gives them a task. It says how they're coming in, and then it gives them problems that build in difficulty depending on their success. Now, if I ask or look at Astrid here, what she did on Success Maker, she came in at 4.78. So she almost came in at a 5th grade level, and she just took off. And then she started flatlining over and over again. And the reason why she started flatlining for a long period of time is because they're throwing things at her that she had never seen before. She was doing fractions before her class was doing fractions. She was multiplying fractions, and her class hasn't even multiplied fractions. And so she was doing all these other things that her class was doing. And at the same time, I started slowing her down as well a little bit to concentrate more on her reading. But she ended up finishing the school year by going up almost a complete half of a grade from 4.78, grade 4.78 to grade 5.35. They were shooting at almost 6th grade level to get out of 3rd grade, which I think is amazing. This particular thing here, skills mastered, percent correct and all that, this is something that if you ask your teacher, you ask the school admins, they can print it out for you. There's another a part of that, and this is right here, her student performance. And this shows me all the different skills that she was assessed in, that she mastered, and percent mastered. She got 98%. She got 96% on skills mastered. There's not one thing in here that I am disappointed at. She doesn't like speed games because the problem with speed games is they put a timer on her, and that last problem on the speed game, she starts to really get freaked out on because she wants 100% on everything. You can tell she wants 100%. And again, these are things that she was doing, like probability and statistics. They were not teaching that, and measurements and so on. A lot of these things she was learning on her own, which I'm very happy about. So this is just to go back. This is the review of Savvas EasyBridge, or Savvas itself, and realize, very important, finding out grades, finding out where your kids need help. Realize, or Reader, finding the assessments, finding the practice assessments, and so on. and Success Maker. Practice, practice, practice. The thing with Success Maker is the school does not want the parent to help the kid if they're doing Success Maker at school or at home. And the reason why the school doesn't want to do it is want you to help is because they want to know how well your kid does in math, not how well you do in math. Okay, so this is my my review on Savvas. If you want, like this, subscribe, tell your friends, and we will be doing more. Thank you. Bye.